Hi guys, this is Anne and welcome to my channel. In this video I would like to talk to you about the books I'm planning to read in the month of June, the first month of the summer. It's already June, the 3rd. The time is flying absolutely stupendously fast. And the books I'm going to show you, the books I have mostly in paper. A couple of months ago I did one of those videos and I told you that the books are just multiplying and multiplying. Yeah, I have about 16 of them on the go at the moment, and some of them realistically I'm not going to pick up this month at all, but some of them I will. So what I want to focus on is the books I mostly already started and I just would like to get done with, get out of my reading pile so I can move to more books. Some of them are continuation of my long-term projects, some of them are read-along, so without further ado. Right, one of the books I would like to finally read is 100 Shadows. This was in the Mauve box, and I have started it in one of my videos about trying the first chapter. Quite enjoyed this. I know many of you have read it recently on the booktube and mostly everyone has liked it, so I would like to give this a go and actually complete it. Another book which I have also tried in the same video of trying the first chapter was this Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry, and once again I've done the first chapter, quite liked it, would like to actually complete it this month. Following the theme, I have the Dormo Mark de Sabot. I'm still on page 56. I have not progressed at all with this particular book, which is such a shame because I genuinely really enjoy reading it when I pick it up. But it is a serious read and it is quite a dense read. The font is absolutely minuscule in this book, so it takes me a very long time to get even through the 10 pages in this. But I will persevere and I would really like to complete this. I have 84 Charing Cross Road. I have not touched this particular book since last video I've shown to you, and the same goes for The Vegetarian by Han Kang. So those two books I plan to read in the month of May, but never even got to. So yes, those two are so small. Would really like to complete in June now. Another one I'm continuing with is the Arthur Schnitzler's Dream Story. I do like it. I actually like it more than I thought I would. But for some bizarre reason, it just did not gel with me in the month of May. Like, I've tried multiple times. I'm halfway through it already. And realistically, I need about 2 hours of like really going into it and reading it. So hopefully I will finish this one soon, beginning of June. I would also like to finish The Sufficient Grace. I'm kind of progressed more with it, but I'm still in the first third of the book. I find the language gets a while to get into grips. It's just the way they mispronounce things. And I can see why it's done. It's done because the author tries to represent the ethnicity of the Wisconsin dialogue and this closed religious community. But I find that the language massively slows me down. I just constantly want to go like, oh no, it's like it sounds just wrong. It's like sometimes if you want to, some authors, when they try to represent the Scottish accent more, they deliberately misspell some words in English, so when you read them they sound more Scottish. I find it really hard to read. That unbelievably slows me down. So if given a choice, I would listen to those books read by the Scottish narrator. So with this one, I just have to persevere, get through the reading, through the writing style. And I think once I do that, I will get to enjoy the story. Also, June is going to be the month I finally complete this book. I have finished the first 3 volumes of Alexandria Quartet. I have read Justine and Balthazar in March and April. I have completed Mountwell in the month of May. I'm yet to record the review on this particular book. I have not done so. And then the final volume, I'm just trying to see where it starts here. I actually need to move there. So the one remaining volume left is going to be Clear, and honestly, I don't want to start it because that would be saying goodbye to this book, and I so much enjoyed it. It's been such a part. I've read it throughout the entirety of spring and I get to finish on a high note in summer. So far, it's a solid 5 out of 5 for me. I just can't believe it's taken me that long. I purchased this in 2009 to actually get to this book so I can read it. absolutely love it. I will try to read it slowly and just, I don't want it to finish. I'm also continuing my journey with my Euripides Volume 1. I have read Alcesta and Medea, and I'm going to read The Children of the Heracles this month. I kind of planned to do it in May. It did not happen in May, really. So I'm just carrying it on into June. So I'm going to read The Children of Heracles and the Hippolytus, which I wanted to read in June as it is. Everything I read in this book, I truly enjoy. It's a wonderful read. But it does take a while to get again your mind into it. It's not something you can just, at least me, it's not something I can pick up in the evening and read after the work. But yes, this is the one I would like to finish. Also, I have started 2 books in the last couple of days in June. First of them is Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale. I have never read this, and I know it's going to become turned into a TV series very soon. I don't think I will watch the TV series. But it's one of these books which appears in everyone's best read list, and it's like in the 1001 books to read before I die. So I thought, fine, I'm finally gonna start it. And the final, I think, bullet which made me realize I need to pick it up now is the Bailey shortlisted novels. One of them, called The Power, is written by a protege of Margaret Atwood, and apparently there's a lot of parallels with The Handmaid's Tale, and I want to read The Power as it is, so I thought I'll read this one first. And so far, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's really interesting. I can totally see what people say. She's inspired by Chaucer and his Canterbury Tales. The structure of the narration in the ways like short little bits and bobs is very, very similar. Really liking it so far. Another book which came from actually the same shop, and I purchased them roughly about the same time, is Chino Achebe, Things Fall Apart. I've started this about 2 days ago, and I'm absolutely transfixed. This book is wonderful. It is absolutely amazing. I know I like African literature. That's why I do want to read more of it. But I have not realized just how much I would enjoy this one. So far, I'm on page 54, so I'm still in the first part. And I really enjoy the description, the very descriptive writing style of the traditions of the tribe. And a lot of people on Goodreads, they complain like, oh, why is he always talking about the yams? The book is about yams. No, it's not. I can completely see why it's classics. I can totally see why so many people think it's one of the best. I mean, Hilary Mantel thinks it's one of the best books ever written in English. And if she says that, this woman knows a lot about writing style and good literature. And I'm absolutely in love with this book. I really, really like it, so much so that I actually purchased the other 2 books. So this is the book 1 in his African trilogy. So I have purchased The Arrow of God, and then the 3rd one, I can't remember what it's called. Definitely want to read everything written by Chino Achebe. His writing style is just amazing. Right, and the last but not least is War and Peace. This is how it looks like in Russian. This is just volumes 1 and 2. And volumes 1 and 2, between them are 700 plus pages, and actually not that such a big a font. So in Russian, it is a chunky book. I don't know how many pages it is in any of the English translations, but in Russian there are 2 volumes this big. Because as you know, War and Peace is 15 parts altogether. So volume 1 is 3 parts, and volume 2 are 5 parts. So 8 parts between the first 2 books. I really, really like it. So I've started it on the 1st of May. I was trying to be really, really good and really, really reasonable and stick to about 6 chapters a day. We're supposed to, because it's a read-along, hosted by Anj in Yemeni. I'm going to leave the link to Anj's video. And without realizing it, I'm now on page 108. I literally have to like drag myself away. And I've read this book more than 20 times, I think. And every time I read it, it's like I've never read it before. It's like, honestly, it's like you're going on a date for the very first time. And every time I read it, it's something new I pick up. And some minute details, which are just, they're just amazing. And yes, just to show up close, this is how much of the book is in French. Look at it. This is double spread. So this has to be translated into Russian. So the following page, it is translated from French into Russian. So those of you who in the group complain that you find the dialogue very jarring because It will be French intermittent with the Russian. So Russian is as it is English, French is left as French. I can emphasize with you, but it was done for a reason. Yes, Russian society back in 1805, which is when the first part opens with 1805, but that was actually the original name given to the book. Well, Lev Nikolaevich Tolstoy has written War and Peace. It wasn't called War and Peace. So the first two parts were titled 1805, and he has published them in the series, just like Charles Dickens used to do in the Russian magazine. But he wasn't really unhappy with it, and then he published the first draft, the first galleys of it, which had a very different ending to what War and Peace does now, back in 1867, I think, yeah, 1867. And again, it wasn't really called War and Peace back then, it was called 1805 and War. But he was really unhappy. It turned out that he didn't like the ending and he wanted to rework some of his main characters. So he withdrew the book and he completely rewritten it. It took 2 more years. So the War and Peace you know now, I think is about it's 9. It's a 9th draft. And one of the anniversaries of Lev Tolstoy's birthday in Russia, they have published all of his written work, and there are about 90 volumes of all of his written work. So some of those volumes, they contain what have survived from the original drafts of War and Peace, and his wife was obviously a major part of writing. She was the one who would rewrite it in a nice handwriting to take to the publishers. So she was a big part, and she has lots of discussions with him. So her diaries also convey a lot of information about his thoughts behind rewriting it. A lot of it never survived. So original periodicals, like the bits he published in like early 1860s, they did not survive. But his first draft, which he published in 1887 as a book, and they had illustrations and everything, some of the copies have survived, and you can find them in Russian online because they have been recently reprinted. I tried to read it and I gave up after about volume 1, so the first of the 4 books, and I decided no. If Lev Tolstoy decided that he wanted his characters to end up differently, if he thought that they were not good, I'm just going to trust him because I love everything he's written, and I'm going to trust him, and I'm not going to look at those official drafts. It's like, you know, when you stage a play, you have those 2.5 weeks of pre-release dates when audience goes in and you gauge the reaction and you try to see whether or not you should change stuff. It's the same thing. If he felt that it's not worth it and it should be different, then he was right. It's his creative project, and he's done so much research for that book. I'm trying so hard not to read it because this is what I want to read in the month of June, so the first 2 books. And the rate I'm going, I've read the 7th of it already in 1 day. Actually, I did not start it on the 1st, I started on the 2nd. I started yesterday. Today's Saturday. And I had to drag myself. I love it so much. I think everyone should read War and Peace. I'm a bit worried about the translations because I went on a Goodreads discussion group yesterday, and there seems to be a lot of differences between translation. Everyone is obsessed with the hair on the lip of Andrei Balkonsky's wife. Well, who cares? In Russia, it's really funny because when we did this at school, everyone was talking about Elena's wonderful shoulders and her neck because that was the region. So all the women that would have dresses which would emphasize this part of the body because that was what deems to be really beautiful. If you were slightly what's now considered to be fat, sort of my size was what you wanted the woman to be, and like a white shoulders. That was the thing of beauty. But this is 1805. Remember, this is Alexander I. He was 24 back then. So you have a previous generation who witnessed Catherine the Great. Catherine the Great was not a small woman. Let's be honest, she was quite plump, and she would parade her body with lots of powder, just like Elizabeth I did, to sort of cover up her aging flesh. I like this edition, this particular one, is the one I purchased back in Russia in 2003. So it's definitely not the first one I've read. I had so many different editions before that. But I started reading it yesterday, and what I've realized is when I was 20, when I read this book, I actually, back then, was much more brutal. So I actually written in pencil in the book, and this whole volume is interspersed with my writing on the side, and it's really weird. I read the text now and I read my notes from back when I was 20. Some of them notes I already crossed when I read it in 25, when I read it in 26. I probably read it like once a year. But last 4 times I've read it electronically, not in this book, because the book was in my brother's house and I've just brought it a couple of years ago. It's like meeting an old friend again. I'm so happy I'm reading it. I'm so happy I'm reading this book. You don't know, guys, how much I love it. So I'm sure this would be the highlight for me over June, which is a bit unfair because I hope to meet new books which I love, but this one is very hard to beat in my opinion. Maybe Cleo and Alexandria Quartet will come close, because honestly this year that seems to be book number 1 for me. If you have read anything from the list I've shown you, if you're planning to read anything from that list, do let me know. I would like to chat to you in the comments down below. Happy reading, guys. Bye.